Your time, it's his time, it's Bam's time. Bam's time to shine. Your time to shine too. Yes, you. Hey, check it out, man. We have the truth about Michael Jordan's NBA. I seen Kevin Garnett on the thumbnail, and title caught me. Let's watch this together. Come on. Let's see the truth about this shit. Pretty sure it's gonna have something to do with the physicality and all that extra shit.
David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. It wasn't no, you was out 2-3 games, man. Your teammates, hey, bro, what you doing tonight? You going? Nah,
PG with the cornrows, man. That shit look nasty.
There was a point, I believe, you know, probably around the late 90s when the game became too physical, where a big, strong player could come in and prevent a...
See, this could have been, you know what he could have did right here, bro? Look how he fell, bro.
And prevent.
Look how Scottie Pippen fell. He fell like this. I can't even do it, bro. But he could have had his whole looking at how because it's like he's coming down. His leg is snapping like this. That could have been bad for his knees. Some type of ACL, MCL, something. Meniscus is getting high chance of fucking up. You know, some of them plays back then, bro. A lot of them, bro. Man, I don't know how to. I don't know. I wasn't alive, so I don't know if the injuries were worse. But bro, that shit, like, look at how he fell, bro.
A incredibly skilled player from doing those.
Look, that's crazy. That's mean. I know y'all. I do agree. Little shit is a little soft nowadays. Don't get me wrong. Dudes be as soon as they get hit, they hey. You feel me? They doing all type of bullshit. They training motherfuckers to get fouled and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna sit here and act like there isn't truth to what the old heads say about today's NBA. There is some truth to it, but that shit you just saw, you gonna hurt somebody, bro. That's not defense.
Kinds of things.
When discussing 1990s, even early 2000s basketball, it's becoming increasingly more difficult to find rational takes concerning both these eras. As a lot of current-day players in the 2020s, they think those eras were unskilled trash and honestly just beneath them. Now, luckily for us, a lot of those players who played in those eras, they're speaking out more and more. Case in point with Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett.
Oh, yo, let me tell y'all something, bro. 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get to a triple step back.
No.
You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get to a triple step back, and then if you shot that shit, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was so fucking hard. It was too physical. And guess what?
That's a travel, but it's a harder shot, and he made it.
For the flow of movement to be able to have scoring go up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of the rat race of the high-paced game, right? But, bro, let's not talk about the game and shit.
That's not that bad.
Let's not talk about the physicality
not that bad of a
the
foul.
game.
That's cool. That's cool. Whatever.
So, stopping KG right there, his insight, I definitely appreciate it. And again, Garnett played in the 90s, 2000s, even 2010s. If any guy knows all these eras, it's Kevin Garnett. And when talking about the toughest defensive eras, kind of Kevin Garnett's rise to prominence came in the toughest defensive era of all time. As the 97 to 04, that era, in my view, is indeed the toughest era. You still had physicality, you still had big centers, enforcers, post defense was allowed, handshaking was allowed, and there was no 3-second rule for the majority of that time period. In terms of scoring the basketball back then, the space you had to maneuver, I mean, it's not even comparable to today's NBA.
Gary Payton getting up.
Constantly great defense by the Rockets. Harden with the Euro.
I was there, bro. Defense. That's why I say basketball going downhill. Football about to be better than basketball in a minute. The way basketball going.
Step and reverse up the floor to get an easy one. But look what happened when Kevin Garnett gets in the lane. Look at that, two guys.
That was some decent defense. That was good defense. Guys are more skilled now, though, as far as.
So
guys are more
right
like
there,
it is,
effort, the
but that skill don't make you better though all the time.
I mean, it's almost two different sports.
People in my generation, we think if you're more skilled that you're better than somebody.
That's the best defensive era of all.
I use Kobe for an example. Kobe is a skill. He almost lost the fucking ball right here, but Kobe is a skilled tryhard. shit he didn't look all, his tween dribble didn't look all smooth and shit like that, but he got the job done. 1-2 dribble pull up. Feel me? Oh, behind the back wrap around. Bucket, go get into the mid range, knocking down open threes if he's there. You know what I'm saying? Get into the basket, banging on you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and locking up. So it's just, I like players like that. I don't like it's so many talented players, but they just too cool for school. They can't do nothing else. That's how the era is now. That's why I say basketball. I don't know what's going on.
And
I
honestly,
he did
it was almost too defensive. As looking at the playoff scoring numbers past 70 years, the lowest scoring playoff runs ever. Here's the top 10. Number 1, 99. 2, 04. 3, 98. 4, 2000. 6, 01. 796.
So does this mean defense was being played, or guys weren't as good, or what? Other than the minusing like 2012 and 11, I'll take off 11 and 12 because that's the 10s. But 90s and early 2000s, does that mean that the defense was just so good, or does that mean the talent level wasn't as good, or is it both? Can two things be true?
894 and 997. 8 out of the 10 lowest scoring playoff runs of all time came in that Jordan, KG, Kobe era. Again, going to show you guys that era was the toughest defensive era of all time. And back then, I'd say the split up offense versus defense was fairly even, borderline 50-50. In today's NBA, it's 70-30, almost 80-20 in the offense's favor. And watching a lot of old film, the referees back then, much more strict. They called traveling, carrying, they call all this stuff nowadays, the refs overlook.
Dominique against McHale. Dominique on the drive in the lane, the layup is good, and they're going to call a blocking violation.
Hold on.
And they're going to call.
Let me see something. Hold on.
Dominique against McHale. Dominique on the drive.
That's not a travel. He took 2 steps. That's not a travel. That's not a travel. That was a bad call. Hold on. Let's see. That wasn't a travel. I don't know why I'm not in HD. How do I do this playback speed shit? That was not a travel. Where we at? We at Oh, we at normal. Let's go 0.75. That wasn't a travel. Let's count.
Much more strict. They called traveling,
It's good. Dominique on the
overlook.
Dominique against McHale. Dominique on the.
He took 2 steps. That was not a travel. That was 2 steps. 2 steps. I know refs can't be perfect, bro, but some of y'all be deserving to get cussed out. I'm just being honest. Some of y'all be deserving it. That shit's crazy.
The lane, the layup is good.
Motherfucking ref missed. Tatum hit LeBron obviously on his arm. That's 2 steps.
In Spanish, 1, 2, 3.
That's a travel.
Walk with it. In Spanish, 1, 2, 3. Good.
That's how strict the past eras were. Dominique Rod Strickland got called for travels on basic Euro steps. Once again, proving that era
2 steps.
limited creativity of the offensive player.
Bro, I didn't see.
Yeah, it's hard to say more skill.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Nobody in this era has a mid-range.
You couldn't get nobody.
Nobody in this era has a post game.
And the ones that do, look amazing. Look at Shea. Shea got a mid-range.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's only like a few of them got.
That's what I'm saying, bro. 2 dribble, pull up.
Yeah, they don't
try to do. Okay, young fella, if you hear me, and then y'all exhaust the ball. Y'all are dribbling the air out of the ball.
Right.
So stopping Garnett right there, his last point, very, very crucial. As fans nowadays, they value things like having a bag and these insane dribble combos that really go nowhere.
And people like, people really admire that shit. Like, don't get me wrong, everybody want to have moves and shit like that. There's nothing wrong. Like, duh, you feel me? You want to be able to get out of tough situations, but my thing is, why is that overlooked upon? Why do we overlook production and value the bag work and the skill work? Somebody who took 7 dribbles to get to their spot versus someone who took 2 dribbles to get to that pull up, 2 dribbles to get to the basket, 2 dribbles, went to the basket, did a spin move and scored, or found somebody open. Someone who just kept the shit simple. But the person who's a tween behind the back, step back, hezzy tween again to a pull, I don't know, bro. It's just like I said. This is the era that we in. That's what's valued.
Watching these so-called elite ball handlers today, there's tons of wasted movement and unnecessary moves.
Let's see.
And I want you to watch these two different clips that were 20 years apart. The first clip is James Harden in Brooklyn in 2021. Watch his dribbles and compare to Kobe Bryant in 01 versus Philadelphia.
I've been said Kobe is no wasted dribbles.
The Spurs cut it to 8. Harden. Down on him on the drive.
He's James Harden. He can get away with it. And I've been said Kobe, no wasted dribbles, straight to the shit. But the thing with James Harden, the reason, see, as kids you hear don't over dribble, don't over dribble, don't over dribble. But it's gonna be some motherfuckers that listen. It's gonna be it's gonna be some. It's gonna be a lot that don't want to listen, but then eventually fall within the lines. And there's gonna be that one person who says, I don't care about that shit. If I need more dribbles, I'm gonna take more dribbles. And that's the person that just breaks the rules. And the person who breaks the rules, the people who break the rules get somewhere in life. James Harden is not the typical player a person is supposed to watch. And not just because he's done average 36, 34, 30, whatever. Because of that clip you just saw, how many times he dribbles to get to where he wants to get. It's not like that every play. Obviously, that was just one possession. But they're gonna turn on up someone who gets straight to it. You know, that if you're a coach, you're gonna watch him. All right, I want you to watch this person. He gets straight to it. You over dribble. This person he does more than you do with less dribbles. Like, think about that.
So if I counted correctly, James Harden took 11 dribbles to get 2 points.
He scored.
Kobe, 1 simple dribble, 1 simple jab step, 2 points. Which one of those plays would you call as more technically skilled? If you ask me, it's Kobe getting his business done in only 1 dribble. And the thing about James Harden, he got past the guy 2 or 3 times, snatched the ball back, just dribble some more. Back in the day, players, if you got past your man, you're going to the basket. James Harden, for no reason, pulls back, snatches back, to dribble the ball more, and add extra fluff to his move. And I want to point out one more thing very quickly. Look at the spacing in both these clips. In Kobe's clip, the lane is packed.
Listen though, for the lane shit though, you gotta understand it's better. What I will say is there's better shooters now than there was back then. Shooting is you could get to the league without being a good shooter back then. Now, now you need to have a jumper. You need to have some type of jumper, especially if you are a certain height. It's more packed because you got guys kicking out. I think is that Kyrie? Is that Kyrie? I don't know, but probably not. Kyrie wasn't playing like that when Harden was there. But yeah. It's a different game. It's more shooters now, so that's why the lane is not as packed. The lane, that's how it is.
2 guys at the elbows, 1 in the paint, and 1 at the rim. That right there I consider as tough defense. As again, get past your man, gotta be 1 guy in the paint and 1 guy at the basket. Much more difficult. James Harden, what does he do? He eventually goes right, but DeMar DeRozan in the paint has to go out of the paint because of the 3-second rule. Watch that again. DeMar DeRozan leaves the paint with James Harden attacking the paint. Like I say in all my videos.
But that's not, hold on.
Leaves the paint with James Harden.
When James Harden got whoever this is beat off the dribble, he's supposed to help. And then I think Murray drops down, if I'm not mistaken. Murray drops down and he goes here, right? Yeah. Let's do that. This is I'd hate to make this an education video, but look.
DeMar DeRozan leaves the paint with James.
Look, James Harden's about to go, right?
James Harden attacking.
Got him right here. He's supposed to be there to help. Murray's supposed to drop down, and then he goes here. He takes Murray's man.
In the paint.
I think.
Like I say in all my videos, 3-second rule is the biggest rule change in league history. Forget illegal defense, the zone myth, forget all that. The 3-second rule is the biggest rule of all time.
LeBron James, who's missed his last 6 shots, drives on Green, gets past, layup is good.
So you think it's harder to score 30 points in a EuroLeague game than it is in a
Brian, you travel right there. Your foot drag.
Because the guy can stay. If you have a guy like, let's say, Rudy Gobert, he can stay in the paint on defense 3 seconds, however he wants. Like, just because of that rule, you can have.
And this is also that what LeBron just did. That was one dribble, a jab, similar to what Kobe did, except Kobe's was a jumper and his was on the right. His on the right side. LeBron's on left. Simple jab, and then go to the basket. Even though he dragged his foot on that shit, it would show that part. But oh well.
Like, just because of that rule.
That's how I've always liked to play the game. I don't care what nobody says. That's how you play.
Jay right wing.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Tougher finish, but he also did take a lot of dribbles.
Now, one thing Paul Pierce did touch on was mid-range shooting. And in terms of overall skill shooting the basketball, players back then were better mid-range shooters and took much more of those shots in game. Nowadays, guys are better three-point shooters.
That's a coaching thing too, though. You know, hella coaches hate mid-ranges, bro.
First year tracking data. In that year's NBA, 14 players took 8 or more shots in the mid-range. And Michael Jordan, top of that list, only 15 attempts on 49% shooting. Of course, high volume and high efficiency. In 2024, the NBA's leader is DeMar DeRozan at under 7. DeRozan for today's NBA is considered an old-school player, but 97 would rank 29th in mid-range shooting behind Kevin Garnett on a lower percentage.
Bro, real shit, it was totally different. And you had to have that work, and you had to really work on your shit. There wasn't no, you was out 2-3 games, man. Your teammates, hey, bro, what you doing tonight? You going? Nah, I can't go, man. My toenail off, man. I can't. Nah, bro, you can't even come in here and lead no niggas like that. You hear me? So you had to strap it up. You had to get out here. You had to dive on the floor.
KG,
you had to get in the room. Yeah.
Let me shut up.
Real
I
shit.
go ball.
Yeah, man, it was men leading men.
So stopping KG right there, the points he makes about players playing through injury being tougher.
He wanted to pass that, but then saw the pass wasn't there.
And when talking about a player's skill, do we not value intangibles, things like toughness, durability, and actually playing through injuries? If you ask me,
that's not a skill. Skill is moves. They don't. And I'm being sarcastic. That's not a skill. Durability, toughness, things like that are not skills. Skills in today's time is how your dribble looks, the shot making, the footwork, the side steps, tweens, cross. You know what I'm saying? That's skill today. Skill ain't got nothing to do with durability and all the other shit you just said, bro. Unfortunately, I think it does, but it's not treated like that, bro.
It's a mental skill as well as a physical.
That's not. I know somebody watching that probably like, oh, look at him. No, goofy. I'm saying I was being sarcastic.
Skill. And comparing era versus era, now in the 2020s. That skill is severely lacking. And looking at 1998, Michael Jordan played all 82 games. I'll repeat that, 51 players.
That's a lot of
2004, 7 years later, Kevin Garnett, when he won the MVP, 42 players played all 82 games. And I want to know...
KG got a great career, 82. Bro.
Last year in 2024, the rate total of 17 players who played all 82 games. That's despite better medical care, advances in science, first-class flights, less back-to-backs, despite all that. Ironically, basketball's biggest problem the past decade has been basketball players not wanting to play basketball.
David Stern did a great job of taking all of the physicality out of the game. You understand? Freedom of movement means freedom of movement. Man, back in the day when you had to get by Paul, because Paul was squared up with you and ready to slide.
He ready. You can see it in his face.
Use his hands, but I can use my hands.
I can fight through a screen.
Bro, the shit that we saw in the
I agree, but at the same token, though, everybody kind of sometimes uses defense, plays defense with their hands, but somebody can't beat you off the dribble, and then you do this. Come on, let's be real. That ain't deep. Yeah, let's play through it. Should it be called every single time? But what thing I don't like, because sometimes they allow rules, and you see this in pickup basketball too. If you play at the gym, they'll call you soft for making certain calls. It's like, bro, you're playing a style of defense because you can't guard. You know what I'm saying? If somebody beats you off the dribble and you do this, like, feel me, as they're coming, of course you feel me? Of course you're going to be able to stop them, you know?
In the Olympics, with similar style play.
Yeah.
Now that right there is our last clip, but Garnett, in that clip, the point he makes is that nowadays the NBA, it's the softer league compared to the Olympics, as well as EuroLeague. Back in the day, the NBA, they were the tough league. And things like hand-checking, arm-barring, hitting across the lane, hitting guys coming through the lane, that back in the day was commonplace. And in large part due to the MJ, KG era, the late 90s, early 2000s. That era spawned the offensive era of the 2020s. Because that era back in the day, it was too defensive. So that right there is the end of the video. My final point when comparing eras, each era is different and unique. The 90s, 2000s, much better defense, mid-range shooting. Nowadays, guys,
there was no such thing as getting a taper in the night. I ain't seen a player with a taper. They didn't care about haircuts back then.
They're better long.
They was just strictly on hoop
and allowed to do more handling the basketball. As always, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
Buckle up for Kobe Bryant. I remember that clip. Anyways, man, that's the end of this vid. If y'all like this video, y'all know what to do. Rest in peace to Kari, ex my grandma, and I'm gone.